fast forward elements so you can see how it trains important learning skills. Fast forward elements 1 and 2 contain 9 exercises, and as you're about to see, they very much focus on listening or auditory skills. So the first exercise I'm going to show you today is working on auditory processing speed. So sometimes we call that temporal processing, and basically it's how fast you're processing sounds. Now you can imagine that if you struggle to process sounds fast enough, it can be very hard to listen when someone's talking quickly. It can make it very hard to listen in background noise. Just generally, the faster you can process, the easier it is going to be for you to listen. So let's have a look at this exercise. It's from Elements 1 and it's called Ocean Explorer. So in this exercise, I'm going to click the go button, and every exercise does actually train you in how to use it the first time you do it, but I'm not going to put you through that today. So when I click the go button, I'm going to hear 2 sounds. I need to click the up and down arrows to show which order the sounds I heard were in. Okay, so I heard whoop whip, so it was definitely a low sound, then a high sound. So I'm going to click down, up. Got it right? Again, whoop whip. That time I heard down, down, or whoop whoop, so I'm going to click whoop whoop. Okay, so I got 3 in a row right, and it's giving me a little reward. I'm unlocking some of this picture. So as you could hear, those sounds were quite far apart and they were quite slow. Look, for some people, this is actually quite difficult. So this is where it starts, and if need be, it will actually go back a step. So the great thing about this program is that it's basically always assessing where you're at. So it's never going to be presenting something which is way too hard. But if this is too easy and you can do it, then it's going to move up quite quickly. So I'll show you an example of something slightly harder. Okay, so that was really fast. I heard whoop whoop. Got it right. Okay, what's the next one? Go. I heard whoop whoop. And another one. Whoop whoop. Now, if you couldn't hear that there were 2 sounds there, or you couldn't hear the differences between the sounds, that's okay. You will work up to this level. And after this level, you can work up to even faster, and you can work up to listening to 3 sounds, 4 sounds, and 5 sounds. I can do this because I've completed this program before. So you can do it too, don't worry. But I just wanted to give you an idea that it is going to adapt to you. So that's auditory processing speed. Okay, let's move on to the next skill. So the next game I'm going to show you is focusing on auditory memory skills. This game is called Space Salvage.
Remember, to advance in Space Salvage, you must match all of the objects before the counter goes to 0.
Okay, so when you first start playing Space Salvage, there's only 8 pieces of space junk here to match up. Each time I click on a piece of space junk, it's going to make a sound. I need to look in the grid for the one that's making the same sound. It's a bit like those games of memory you used to play as a kid, except for those were visual. This is auditory, so there's nothing visual here that I can see that's going to tell me which ones sound the same. I am forced to use my auditory memory. So I'm going to start with the top left.
Bit, pit, kick, big.
Okay, I've heard all different sounds so far, I think.
Pig, pig.
Okay, they were the same, so I'm going to click back on this one to tell it was a match.
Pig. Big.
I feel like I've heard big before, but I've forgotten where.
Big.
Yay, it was there.
Dip. Dip. Dip.
So I'm going to match them all up. And now I'm down to my last 2.
Bit. Bit.
So this game will work through different sounds and it'll give me different graphics to keep me interested. But the point is that this little number down here, it's 60 at the moment. I have to match up all of these in less than 60 clicks. That's what it's going to encourage me to do. As I get better at remembering, it's going to get harder. But if I can't handle this many objects, I will only work up to this many objects when the game knows that I'm ready to do so. So again, it's very adaptive. So that's auditory memory. Let's move on to the next skill. This game is focusing on auditory attention, so attention for things that we hear, and it's called Sonolab. In this exercise, I'm going to click go. Then one of these objects is going to make a sound. It's going to make that sound continuously, and then at an unspecified point, it's going to make a different sound. I have to listen for when the sound changes and then click on it. So I'm going to click go now.
Da, 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 ba.
Okay, I wasn't quick enough. This is one of the medium levels. So at the start, it's going to be very slow. It's going to give you lots of time, but it's requiring my reaction time to be very fast. Let's try again.
Da, 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 ba.
I was fast enough. So did you hear it said da, 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 ba? It's a very small sound change, and that's because the difference between a b and a d is actually very, very small. So this game is retraining my brain to hear the differences between sounds. This is really important because this will make listening easier for me, particularly in background noise. And if you want to learn a little bit more about listening in background noise, check out the video up here. And basically, this is cross-training a number of skills, but can you see how I have to be paying attention in order to get this question right? Let's do another one.
Da, 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 ba.
Okay, so it's pretty tricky. It's really challenging me. So far we've looked at how Fast Forward Elements is training auditory attention, auditory memory, and auditory processing speed. So these are three really key skills for all listening situations. If you can imagine sitting in a classroom, if you can process better, if you can remember more, if you can process faster, then that's going to be a real advantage. And in a work environment as well. Pretty much any environment where you need to listen to sound. The three games that you just saw were all working with single sounds, but this program actually works with whole sentences, with following instructions, with story comprehension as well. I don't have enough time to show you the sentence comprehension and the story comprehension, but what I will show you as our last game is following instructions. This game is called Mission Control. In this exercise, I need to click the go button to hear an instruction, and then I need to follow the instruction.
Touch the little white circle and the little blue circle.
The little white circle and the little blue circle. This is an example of a medium difficulty instruction. It will start more simple and it will adapt to you because everybody's needs are different and everybody's auditory memory is different as well.
Touch the big green circle and the big red circle. Touch the big green circle and the big red circle.
So I wasn't listening properly. I touched the wrong one, so it then showed me what it meant afterwards. So the instructions will be all different kinds of instructions. I'll be required to put things behind, on top of, in front of, next to, all that kind of thing. So it's working through all the different kinds of instructions that I might need to follow and remember. So we've seen so far that Fast Forward trains core skills like listening, remembering, paying attention, understanding, and following instructions. So basically the skills that you need for any situation in which you need to take in information through your ears and process and remember and pay attention to the information. So that might be having a conversation with somebody else. That might be in a learning situation, so at school or at university or at TAFE. It might be in a work situation where you're instructed to do things and you have to remember those and go and do them. Now you might have heard that Fast Forward programs also improve reading skills, and that's definitely what we see in the research. But how can that be since we haven't actually done any reading so far, as you can see here today? Well, that's because reading requires all of these foundational skills that you've seen. So in order to be able to read a passage and understand it, you need to be able to pay attention to the words, remember the words, keep them long enough in your memory so that you can understand them, and you need to process that quickly enough. So as far as the brain is concerned, reading really requires all of these skills, and that's why after training these foundational skills, we will often see improvements in reading as well. But for some kids, that's not enough. Like if you've had a history of reading difficulties, then you're going to need some catching up. And that's where other programs that we provide might be helpful for you. So after finishing Fast Forward Elements or Foundations programs, they're basically the same thing, just the graphics look a little bit different. So Fast Forward Elements that I've shown you today is usually used for teenagers and adults. Fast Forward Foundations is usually used for primary students, but we'll have a chat with you about what's going to be best for your situation. After you've built these foundational skills, you might want to consider moving on to Fast Forward reading programs. We call those the Reading Boost or the Reading Assistant program, depending on what area of reading you'd like to look at. So just contact us if you'd like more information about those. We actually do a thing which we call the 3-step reading program, which is Fast Forward Elements or Foundations, then the Reading Boost, then Reading Assistant, so we can put all of that together in a comprehensive package that works on all of those skills. I hope this video helped you get an idea of what Fast Forward Elements is all about. Feel free to contact us, book a free call if you'd like to have a chat about this. We're all health and education professionals. Our goal is to help you. Our goal is to help you figure out if this is right for you. So please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions, and enjoy the rest of your day.